Earls here. Thanks for coming on today's episode. This week, like every week, I'll be talking about natural living and healthy tips that will get you to rethink how you live and what products or habits you can easily change to better your life. So let's get started. Hey friends, before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to this podcast and also let you know that I am thinking about you. I can't communicate on a one-on-one basis, but I do appreciate you guys, and no matter what you're going through, I hope you have a great day. Okay, well, our topic today is, do we really need 8 hours of sleep? The experts say we need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, but why when I can function on 5 or 6? This is a very good question and one I've asked many times. Although you can and have functioned on less sleep than the experts say, it is not always wise. Allow me to explain by telling you my personal story. Now, I'm one of these people that when motivated can accomplish a lot on very little sleep and adrenaline. I functioned this way for many years and in large blocks of time. Because this was my norm, I hardly noticed the signs that the lack of sleep was causing. So this was my daily schedule. I'd wake up at 5 a.m., do my miracle morning, have breakfast, teach school, write my book or my books, have lunch. I would take some coaching calls or calls with my SEO. I'd head outside to do some chores. Then it was dinner. After that, homework, blog, newspaper writing. Then I'd work out at midnight until 1 or 1:30 a.m., and then I would go to bed. Next day, I would repeat it all over. My weekend schedule was different because I didn't teach, and I caught up on household chores, outside chores, and anything else I couldn't get finished during the week. I was motivated, and I had a plan. To say I didn't enjoy my schedule would be a lie. There were times when I felt overwhelmed, but for the most part, I really enjoyed what I was doing. After a while, however, I would go into these streaks where I'd work for a few days and then crash. My body and mind were tired. Did I listen to the signs and change? No, that would be smart. Instead, I kept pushing myself because I had big goals and I was bound and determined to make them happen. At least you couldn't say I was lazy. Fast forward a little to when I started developing symptoms that weren't normal for my body. This was when I started paying attention. Symptoms included tired to the point where I was functioning like a zombie. I would get the chills and I was losing weight. Note, there were other symptoms, but for privacy's sake, I'm just going to leave those out. And I've never had a problem with weight gain. Thank you, genetics. But I've also never had a problem where I've dropped weight without trying. So what was going on? I credit it to stress, as things happened in my life around this time that could have significantly affected my body. Well, I was partially right. You know when they say stress kills? Well, they're right. Stress affects everyone at some point in their lives. Here's one survey in one area that was done indicating how people suffer from stress. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but if you go to heatherearls.com/sleep, you can see the statistics there. I'm just going to read you a few. So 63% is the percentage of Americans who say the future of the nation is a significant source of stress. That's higher than the percentage who are stressed about money, which was 62%, work, which is 61%, or violence and crime, which was 51%. Now, 43, the percentage of Americans who say healthcare is a national issue that causes them stress. Now, it goes on. Other commonly cited stressors include economy, trust in government, hate crimes, crime, wars, conflict, terrorist attacks, high taxes, government controversies, unemployment, and low wages. Now you can see, like I said, all the percentages to those if you go to my blog, heatherearls.com/sleep. Now, effects of stress. Our bodies can handle stress, but in small doses. When stress becomes long-term or chronic, it messes up our body and produces serious side effects such as problems with your respiratory system, cardiovascular system, nervous system, male and female reproductive system, gastrointestinal system, and more. Now that's no joke. These are major players in your body that can have and cause major damage when they are stressed out. So how does stress tie in with sleep? Well, stress and sleep, the double S. Well, in my case, lack of sleep combined with stress was the reason for my side effects. By themselves, my body could have battled it out, but when combined, it was not a happy ending to my story. Some might say you burnt yourself out. Well, I can't deny that wasn't the end result, but not in the way you're thinking. I enjoyed what I was doing, so I did not burn myself out mentally. No, by not letting my body get the recommended amount of sleep needed, then crashing, combined with a little stress, I burnt myself out physically. The end result, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. Although this was the diagnosis, it goes a little deeper than that, and I will explain that at another time. Since that time, I realized my body could indeed break, and I needed to take better care of it, and not just by eating healthy foods. Sleep is huge to keep your body on track, giving you the time to recover where stress or other traumatic instances come into play. Sleep also allows your brain to function at its best and will, in the end, yield better results when dealing with work, family, writing a book, and more. Yes, at first you may feel like you're not getting enough done, but over time you will see that you accomplish more. When your brain can function at full steam, it takes less time to accomplish a task. I promise you, this is proven. Your health is not worth losing because you're pushing your body. If I could have gone back, I would have chosen, number 1, not change any of my goals, but 2, given my body and brain a fresh perspective by getting a little more sleep. This last statement brings us back to the beginning question of, should you get 7 to 8 hours of sleep? The answer is yes, you absolutely should. All right, we'll talk to you next week, you guys. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Urban Wisdom and Natural Living. Tune in next week where I'll broadcast live every Monday morning at 8 a.m. If you miss it live, hold those tears and head on over to my blog, which is heatherearles.com. That's Heather, EARLES.com. There you can have 24/7 access or right here on iTunes. If you want to follow me on social media, you'll find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. Have a healthy week.